So you guys could do this one if you really wanted to. The airplane set, and don't quite quote me on this, I might be lying a little bit. Usually the way you make something that approximates an airplane set is you take the interval from, say, 0 to 1, you take that middle third, right, that we cut out before, and instead of cutting it out, you make a circle. And then over here, you cut out the middle third and make a circle. Oops, that was supposed to be a friggin' circle. And over here, you take the middle third and put in a circle. And then in here, you take the middle third and make a circle. And here, you take the middle third and make a circle. You guys see the airplane? Hence the airplane.
It's more like a bubble than airplanes.
Yeah, sure. There's lots of different things like this. Lots of them have some kind of vaguely interesting property. This one, don't quote me on anything about this one. You could do some interesting calculations, like you could figure out how far it is from this side to that side now. Right?
I mean,
it's not 1 anymore.
Right.
Right? If you're limited to walking in the airplane, right, you'd have to walk up and over each of these little bumps, right? But the little bumps, like, they're not very long in the end, right? So there's a reasonable question of like, well, if they're not very long, how far is it? You could maybe get the computer to do an approximation for you. Or you could sit down with some calculus and maybe come up with an actual answer. Cool. So, yeah, there's a whole bunch of these. The antenna set you make by kind of drawing these funny little crosses on here. And then on each of the crosses, you draw a little cross. And then draw a new. And depending on the way in which you assign lengths to these things, right, and then you could go through this whole thing again and draw little crosses on it. Depending on the way in which you assign lengths to these things, some kind of interesting properties crop up. It might be a reasonable thing to ask, like, what's the total length of this thing? What percentage of this box is taken up by this thing? That might be a reasonable question. If you threw a dart at this, what's the probability of hitting it? Those are all kind of related questions. Cool. Right. So there's a whole bunch of things that you could ask. This is basically fractal geometry on steroids.